UFC 279. What a roller coaster. From Nate Diaz's legendary exit from the UFC to Khamzat Chimaev's lethal performance, it really was something, wasn't it? However, this video is not about the main event or even the co-main event. It's about what happened a day before the original card was supposed to happen. Keep watching till the end to catch all the deets. First up, what was actually supposed to happen? Back in May, the UFC 276 lineup was leaked with Nate Diaz vs. Khamzat Chimaev as the co-main event. After many delays, the fight was finally going to happen on September 10th at UFC 279, but on September 9th, Khamzat Chimaev missed the weigh-in badly, almost 8 pounds above the limit, and to be fair, he seemed pretty unfazed by it. The originally planned lineup required a last-minute shuffle. Nate Diaz was assigned to Tony Ferguson, whom he submitted in the main event, while Khamzat was sent off to fight Kevin Holland. Big ups to Holland for taking the fight on a 2-day notice. Still, Khamzat took care of the fight without any trouble, showing everyone how great of an athlete he is. Moving up, let's see what people had to say. Henry Cejudo tweeted that the 279 had unnecessary drama, but praised Chimaev's skill. On the other hand, celebrities like Megan Anderson and Ben Askren believe that it was going to be tough for Khamzat. Even the Notorious believes that he should have been taken off the card entirely, but Chimaev fought and he ended it quickly. He took Holland down and then chased a submission from there. Coming up, the fan backlash. Khamzat received a lot of hate for missing weight, and that too by a lot. Some believe it was rigged to make him Dana's new golden boy, which we'll get to in a while. In the post-fight interview, he made it clear that he won't be paying any mind to the critics. The star doesn't care about the backlash and the hate that's being thrown his way. Chimaev received boos from the crowd on fight night, as well as the ceremonial weigh-ins, which had never happened previously in his UFC career. He said, "You care about that? I don't care. I care about my family. I care about my career. I care about my money." When asked about the fan reaction at the UFC 279 post-fight press conference, he continued by saying that he is real and that he appreciates others who are as well. Following up, more post-fight press conference talks. Some wonder if Chimaev can maintain a career at 170 pounds given that he's a big fighter for welterweight and doesn't make weight by much. The unbeaten contender is open to stepping up in weight but won't rule out welterweight just yet. When asked if he can make weight again, he replied, "Of course, I did that before, why not?" He also said that he'll do whatever the coach tells him to. If it is 170, he'll deliver 170, and if it's a heavy weight that's demanded of him, he'll even do that. He continued saying that training is all he has in his life, and he will continue doing that without stopping. Next up, let's hear what Dana had to say. UFC President Dana White realized a modification to the UFC 279 main event was required as soon as he learned Khamzat Chimaev was having trouble losing weight. It was a wild week as there were multiple altercations between athletes backstage. The pre-fight press conference was postponed as well, and the cherry on top, White and his staff learned early on Friday morning that Chimaev was well outside the welterweight limit for his fight against Nate Diaz. Dana said that the authorities were aware that Khamzat was having trouble cutting weight and was going to miss it at the weigh-in. Dana just wanted to get it over with, and so we got the last-minute shuffle. The commission wouldn't have allowed it. No matter how badly, everyone wanted to see the original card happen. Chimaev missed out on the opportunity to headline his first ever UFC pay-per-view due to weight issues, but he still took advantage of the situation by submitting Holland with a DR choke a little over 2 minutes into the first round. We don't know if anybody expected him to do exactly what he did. We know we didn't. This is like his 4th fight where he's never even taken a punch. You don't know what to expect from that dude. He isn't really normal, especially if you look at Holland. The guy is 6'2". How does someone go without even taking a hit? An absolute freak of nature. Like Joe Rogan has said, you don't mess with people from Russia. Let's learn more about whether Chimaev will move up the weight division. Although the UFC president was pleased with Chimaev's performance, he wasn't thrilled with his weight problems, which caused the entire card to be in disarray 24 hours before the event. Dana also suggested that there are a lot of possibilities for Khamzat at 175 or even 185. Let us know if you would like to see that happen. The whole thing in general was a problem for the UFC. Although Dana hasn't completely shut the doors for Chimaev to fight at welterweight, he did seem hesitant. Boers insist that he could still go down to 170. Being an excellent fighter is one thing, but consistently losing weight is quite another. At UFC 279, Khamzat Chimaev utterly failed in his attempt to transition into the latter. In other related news, let's not forget fans call the UFC scripted like WWE. Can't blame the fans for some transparency, can you? Dana is also being accused of foul play in order to make Khamzat his new champion. Fans are comparing the company to WWE after the sudden lineup change for UFC 279. Here's how Dana explained the situation. He started with how Khamzat had already gotten lean. He had started to lock up and get cramps. And yeah, it's fair that these things happen when the cut isn't doing any benefit but only harm. He further explained how the team had called in for a doctor, and the doctor advised against the weight loss. As a result of the difficulties with Chimaev's weight cut, it appears that the UFC and Dana White tried to salvage the situation. The revised main event seems to have satisfied the audience. But hey, there's always going to be people who won't be happy no matter what, right? Up next, the 17-year-old joins the UFC. Raul Rosas Jr. Yes, you heard the name. He's just shy of his 18th birthday and was brought in by the UFC. Following a unanimous decision victory against Armando Gutierrez on Dana White's Contender series on Tuesday night, Raul Rosas Jr. became the UFC's youngest fighter by signing with the organization. Before the play ended, Rosas was presented with a contract by White, who had been impressed by his performance. Rosas is the series' youngest fighter currently competing. Regarding Rosas' age and outing versus Gutierrez, White remarked, "I've never seen anything like it." And he's not wrong. You don't get to see this every day. Dana would have regretted not signing him. After all, the kid is unique and exceptional. The bantamweight Rosas out-grappled the 25-year-old Gutierrez for most of the contest, with a seldom executed solo stretch submission from behind. He came dangerously close to finishing Gutierrez in the opening round. Rosas was taken down by Gutierrez, who also applied some ground and pound. Rosas, though, would nearly always come out ahead, and if he used his agility, skill, and innovation to climb to the top from the ground. Rosas has even mentioned winning titles. Finally, Conor's next possible opponent. The Irishman hasn't stepped into the ring for 14 months now. With Diaz out of the scene, having intentions to take on other challenges, it seems highly unlikely for the two fighters to finish their trilogy. What's more, in recent weeks, Floyd Mayweather said that he was arranging a boxing rematch with McGregor for 2023 after their highly publicized contest in 2017. We're not sure who he's exactly negotiating with. As his contract with the UFC ended, McGregor is eager to return him to the octagon, where Mayweather would not dare to compete. The Notorious also posted a picture of him punching Floyd on his Instagram with the hashtag #NotInterested. Well, there goes that thought. Who is left for McGregor then? Will UFC matchmakers strive to schedule the most lucrative bout possible, or will they try to get McGregor back on track with a victory? Will the UFC put him in a title match to go for the win? Who knows? Our guess? Jorge Masvidal or Charles Oliveira. Masvidal would be the ideal opponent for McGregor to face again. He thrives on event promotion and likes stand-up conversations. The possibility of major confrontations in the near future will also be made feasible by any of them ending the losing streak. McGregor obviously doesn't deserve to compete for the championship at the moment, but this situation has nothing to do with what McGregor deserves. It all comes down to what Oliveira deserves. Oliveira would need to face Conor as soon as possible if he defeats Makhachev in Abu Dhabi. Alright, that's a wrap for today. What are your thoughts on Khamzat missing weight, and would you like to see Chimaev move up in a weight class or stick to welterweight? Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you already haven't. With that, see you next time. Peace.